Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is just about to break from this pattern, which will set up a new price target. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum and Solana, which is now flashing a new signal in the short term. So I'll be talking about that later in the video, so make sure to watch to the end. First of all, just giving you a quick update here on the daily Bitcoin chart, and right now the bearish divergence is technically still active, which means we're due to see reduced bullish momentum, but we have not yet fully confirmed a bearish trend reversal on the daily time frame, because at least as of right now, we have not fully confirmed a bullish trend reversal here in the DXY, which technically means the price of Bitcoin is still within the bullish trend on the daily time frame, forming higher lows and higher highs, as I've been talking about basically non-stop this entire time. But as I've also been saying this entire time, obviously during a bullish trend, we can see short-term pullbacks and sideways consolidations during a bullish trend, like what we've seen over the last few weeks as a result of this bearish divergence and also a previous bearish divergence back here. And we still have this level of support holding up right now, sitting at around $41,000, which is one of the most important levels of support for Bitcoin, at least in the short term here on the daily time frame. And if we're taking a look at the 12-hour Bitcoin chart, we also have this ascending line of support, which is sitting at around 42,500 approximately. And so basically, if we end up seeing a bit of a short-term pullback, then obviously I would expect some support, possibly about around that level right there. And if we're taking a look at the 4-hour time frame, obviously we have this area of resistance still sitting in between around 44.3k going up towards around 44.7k, which over the last 1 to 2 days we have seen multiple perfect rejections from that area of resistance. But if we ultimately see a confirmed breakout back above around 44.7k, then in that case our next resistance would be this local high sitting closer towards around 45.7 to 45.8k, so just below $46,000. And in a more bullish scenario, if we actually broke out back above 46,000, then in that case, I would expect the next resistance to be sitting at around 48,000 based on a Fibonacci level on the weekly time frame. And as for levels of support on the 4-hour time frame, we do have support at around 42.6k approximately. Below that, we also have more support at around 41.9k, so just below 42k. And below that, we have more support sitting in between around 40,500 going up towards around 41k. And so basically at the moment, the price of Bitcoin is looking relatively neutral. We're basically just chopping around sideways within this giant choppy sideways price range. And once again, that is one of the most common outcomes that we usually see from a bearish divergence. But believe it or not, you can make a lot of easy profit in choppy sideways price action just like this. And if you want to know how to do that, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But first, taking a quick look at the 1-hour Bitcoin chart. And right now, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is forming a symmetrical triangle pattern or horizontal triangle pattern, and the price is extremely close to breaking from this pattern. Because if you measure from the current price of Bitcoin to the end of this triangle, that's only around 7 hours away. So basically in less than half a day, the price is going to be forced to either break out above this resistance or below this support. And in case you're wondering, this line of support right here is sitting at around 43.6k, and this line of resistance is sitting at around $44,000. And as always, we need to see confirmation when we are breaking one of these levels. So obviously candle closes, for example, above resistance or below support, or even better, if we see a retest, basically flipping previous support into new resistance or previous resistance into new support, that is even better. That is extra confirmation. And now, technically speaking, if we just see one of those confirmation signals, that's enough to initially confirm the breakout and the technical price target for the pattern. But the more confirmation, the better, because the more confirmation, the more confident that we can be that the price is actually heading in that direction. And as for the technical price targets for this symmetrical triangle pattern right here, if we see a break to the downside below that line of support with confirmation, that would set up a technical price target at around 40.6k. But on the other hand, if we see a confirmed breakout above that line of resistance, then in that case, that would set up a bullish price target at around 47.3k. And so from the point of the breakout, very close to the current price, to that price target, that's roughly around a 7% move, either up or down, depending on if we're breaking support or resistance. And obviously, as traders, we don't even need to know the direction beforehand. We just need to wait for a confirmation signal to profit in either direction. Obviously, a long position to the upside or a short position to the downside, so that we can profit in either direction, no matter what direction we break here. And as always, the point of invalidation would be, for example, if we broke out above resistance and then back below that point of the breakout, that would obviously invalidate the breakout, and vice versa. If we saw a break to the downside below support and then broke back above that line of support, that would invalidate the break to the downside and that technical price target. And so personally, I consider these points of invalidation when I'm placing my stop loss for these trades. So for example, if we're breaking out to the upside and I enter a long position, obviously I'll place my stop loss just below the point of invalidation, because obviously in that scenario, if we broke out to the upside and then broke back to the downside and invalidated that breakout, obviously that stop loss would exit me out of the trade, avoiding any further losses. And in the case of a short position, if we're breaking to the downside below support, then obviously I would enter a short position once we confirm that break to the downside, and in that case I'll place my stop loss just above the point of invalidation. And basically the goal with all of my trades is to try and get the stop loss into profits eventually. So as the trade continues further into profits, I simply move my stop loss further into profits so that in the worst case scenario, I've already secured profits. And I also pay attention to other levels of support and resistance. For example, resistance to potentially take some profits off the table for a long position, or important levels of support to potentially close part of a short position to take some profits off the table in case we bounce at support. And so that's basically my short-term trading strategy when it comes to these breakout trades right here. And so basically I can profit no matter what direction the price goes. But obviously that is just being transparent with my trading strategy. That is not personal financial advice for you, because I don't know your personal financial situation. So my strategy might not be the best one for you. But either way, if you want to take these trades in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto with these long positions or short positions, personally, I take these trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And in fact, if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account, you can get up to a $30,000 deposits bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link to make a Bitflex account and deposit $100 worth of crypto and to make one trade over on Bitflex, you can get 10 USDT completely for free. And so if you're trading crypto anyway, or if you're preparing to take this next trade, you might as well get set up ready to go on one of those exchanges using those links down below this video if you want to get those extra bonuses. But anyway, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and we still have a lot of liquidation levels, a lot of liquidity at around 46.2k. And we also have some liquidity starting at around 45.7k and some more liquidity at around 44.9k to 45k. And so basically those liquidation zones are acting as magnets for the price of Bitcoin, basically attracting Bitcoin towards those liquidation zones. And so due to that being the case right now in the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, it could be slightly more likely that we could see a bullish breakout from this pattern rather than a bearish breakout. But ultimately, we just need to see confirmation of a confirmed breakout either above resistance or below support. But anyway, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily time frame, and right now the bearish divergence is still playing out exactly as expected. Once again, I've been saying for the last few weeks that we're most likely going to see a lot of choppy sideways price action, possibly some slight pullbacks here and there in the price of ETH, and that's been playing out pretty much exactly as expected. And as for support levels on the daily time frame, we have this Fibonacci level of support at around 2190. We also have another Fibonacci level of support at around 2040, and we have this previous area of resistance now acting as new support, sitting in between around 2.1k going up towards around 2150, once again acting as support. And as for short-term resistance, we do have this previous line of support now acting as new resistance, sitting at approximately 2.3k, and above that we have this line of resistance sitting at around 2.4k, more specifically around 2390. And if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, we do have this short-term level of resistance at around 2275, and above that we have this area of resistance sitting in between around 2310 going up towards around 2330, and above that we have this area of resistance sitting in between around 2380 going all the way up towards around 2410. And as for short-term levels of support, we do have some support at around 2210, and below that we have this area of support sitting in between around 2130 going up towards around 2160. And at least for now, in the much shorter term, the price is looking very neutral. We're basically just chopping around sideways, but remember, you can make a lot of easy profits in choppy sideways price price action just like this. And if you want to know how to do that, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But first, giving you a really quick update on the Solana to US dollar chart on the 3-day time frame. And right now, we're still playing out that clear rejection from the strong Fibonacci level of resistance at around $120. And at this stage, it could be likely that the price could actually pull back down towards the golden pocket, where we should find major support. And that is sitting in between around $69 going up towards around $77. And now, obviously, it's not 100% guaranteed that we're definitely going to see those prices again. I'm just saying that at the moment, we're still pulling back from that rejection, and we should expect major support in that area if we do make it to that area. But at least for now, technically speaking, this is still just a pullback within a much larger bullish trend, because here on the 3-day chart, we're still forming significant higher lows and higher highs. But if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, obviously just here in the short term, we're looking more bearish than bullish, forming lower highs and lower lows, which is what I've been talking about over the last few days and has continued to play out exactly as expected. But what we are now seeing that we did not see over the last few days is actually a short-term bullish divergence, with lower lows confirmed in the price in the candle closes and higher lows forming and potentially about to confirm here in the 4-hour Solana RSI. And now, ideally, in order to confirm this higher low in place in the RSI, we need to see this green candle confirm here on the 4-hour chart. And if that's the case, if we do end up seeing a bit more confirmation for this bullish divergence, then this is basically telling us that we're most likely going to see at least some choppy sideways price action in the short term, or possibly a slight bullish relief as the most likely outcomes over the next 1 to 2 days. And so that is just something to keep in mind moving forward. And as for short-term support and resistance, we have just seen a perfect bounce from the 50% retracement level acting as support, sitting at around $92. And below that, we have the short-term golden pocket sitting in between around $83.50, going up towards around $85.50. And so obviously at any of these short-term levels of support, we can see bounces from those levels. And as for short-term resistance, we could find some resistance at around $99 approximately. And above that, we have more resistance at around $108. And above that, we have more resistance at around $116. But believe it or not, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or just chopping around sideways, you can make money in either of those scenarios by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can long or short crypto to make profit if the price is bullish or bearish, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit in choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.